Wait. Yeah. Let's create a little sunshine. So, incinerator sticks are ready. Marker is ready. Today's topic is discipline without discipline, as was requested by my subscriber. So today we're going to talk about this kivushka important topic, because discipline is something really scary. If you got affected by some rough schooling, by some rough, tough upbringing, then you probably have very toxic relationships with the term discipline. So when we hear discipline, especially when we are fatigued, especially when we just want to be cuddled, we want to be held in warm, caring arms, providing all essential needs, and just feel absolutely leisurely dissolved in some bliss, discipline is the last thing that we want to hear. Discipline is the last thing that we want to get exposed to, that want to be affected by. So discipline is a very interesting term, because on the one hand, we know that all of the units in orbit, hello, welcome back, Kirushka, hello, and thank you, Hippocrates, hello. So, read something. Sure. So, when we hear the word discipline, discipline is also associated with any tangible achievement, with things that discipline separates us from our life of our dreams. Discipline separates people from the body of their dreams, from health of their dreams, from sleep of their dreams, perhaps even from relationships of their dreams, from jobs of their dreams. Discipline is this huge what's it? What's this water basin is called that surrounds the castles? You know, those things that people dig out for protection of the castle from the invaders. Drop in the chat, please, if you know. I forgot the word, or I never knew it. I guess. Moat. Okay, moat. Sure. By the way, another thing that we are doing in this stream, we're trying to hit the Americas. We're trying to hit the United States of America today. We're trying to get, hello everyone who is joining. I'm a Tantra Coach, Tantra Therapist. We're talking about discipline without discipline today. This beautiful art of being able to incorporate something that we consider discipline without the terrible associations with this word, without terrible associations with how your psychotic teacher or some abusive parent, or not even abusive parent, just strict parent or strict teacher, were um, pushing you to do things that you didn't know you needed to be performing. You didn't know why you need to perform that. So oftentimes we build association with discipline from the circumstances in which we did not know why are we doing this, what is this needed for, but somehow the adult world was communicating this mandatory suffering to get somewhere, to get some reward. And moreover, as children, we perhaps rarely actually felt this reward. The reward for most people who are traumatized by the discipline was that parents were not yelling at them. So there was not actually a celebration of the disciplinary act, neither there was a perception, internal perception, that I did something cool, because usually children bring grades to parents, not necessarily to themselves. So with that, the discipline and reward system, they are not well connected. We don't know how it is to get pleasure as a result of us performing something that is from the world of discipline. Strict teachers, I never like their teaching tactics. Yes, it can be totally overboard. And also there is a huge gray zone where strict ends and sadistic begins. So that's something that's for a lot of people is very difficult to dial in properly, especially in the profession associated with power, especially with power over children who are considered as like lesser beings. And also when you are a part of the mass, when you're part of a class, that also kind of diminishes you as a person, because you are subjected to the treatment of a whole group of people. T.W.C. Myers, a fit check. Hi. This is a very old shirt that I bought at the store. Yeah, there's stories. Very cool store it used to be. And I pulled it out from my closet and I love it. Let me actually see if my mic can be vertical. Can my mic be vertical? Whoop. Whoop. So as a Tantra coach, it's my job to teach people how to incorporate discipline into their life without it feeling like a torture, without it feeling like it's some self-punishment, some flagellant act. Nastya, you could dress in a tree trunk and you still look great. Thank you so much. By the way, Hippocrates, we have a saying like when you want to compliment people on that she could dress in a potato sack. That's how we say it. And a tree trunk is an interesting twist on that. I instantly start thinking about the mechanics of that. How I would make a tree trunk dress. Hello everyone who is joining, please like the stream. And think what you can ask Tantra Coach, Tantra Therapist. We're talking about the discipline. So, we know that in childhood, let's take some typical model. Childhood. What happens in childhood? Reward unclear. You only hear that what usually told to children. Hello, Todd Words. First time viewer, welcome. I'm Tantra Coach, Tantra Therapist. We're talking about how to build discipline without discipline, such that it doesn't feel like you need to torture yourself on the way to getting somewhere in life. So I will be teaching today, I will be teaching the mechanisms and art. And now I'm giving an introduction for that. So, reward is unclear. You're just being disciplined into something. Your parents are telling you will not get to college if you are not getting good grades. If you're not passing this test, you're not getting to college. You will be, I don't know, your peak career will be a janitor. You will die on the street. This is the message that is associated with discipline. So my reward is not fearing something in the future. Not fearing something in remote future. Remote or close future. Such as parents won't like punish you or something. Then another thing that is associated with discipline when we're just learning what it is. Then, bro, unless you go to schools in Europe, that's another way to do it. Or also there are programs for people who are from low-income families, and they also can get some grants. I got all my education for free because of, I knew the system kind of. So there are ways out of that. But I know that it's also dependent from case to case. But it's not general rule, what you said. So rewards unclear, not fearing something remote or in close future. So there is no positive reinforcement. No effort, reward. So there's just effort. So this is what we learn, that discipline is just effort. And we have deep neurons associated with the word discipline. Reward unclear. The effort is huge. The actions are very hard. We don't know what we're doing. We don't have our own institutions built yet for that. And that creates this catastrophic system in which, remember our thing, when we live in this fear tunnel, when we live in the system of like constant anxiety, holding on to something, this is exactly the illustration of that. What association with discipline creates? That I will be disciplined to keep holding on to something. As a result, we build a persona. we build a persona that is holding on to something, afraid to live and play. Oops. So this is the result of that. We build this persona who is like, I cannot take a detour, I cannot change my way, I cannot risk, I cannot play, I'm not allowed, there is the only path, and I'm very, very scared of life, and I'm very scared of letting go, and I'm very scared of exploring things. So recycling the system, pumping the system by parents in the childhood builds this thing. Yesterday topic was quite related to that. When we were talking about the big goal in the there and then in some very far future, that was supposed that we're supposed to dedicate our all in, ignore completely the skill of enjoying life, completely ignoring the skill of bringing the quality of life up here and now by all accessible means, completely ignoring the training of our sensory system, completely ignoring the training of balancing stress and pleasure, stress and joy. And as a result, we're not ready to accomplish this goal. This goal is draining us. We build negative association with setting big, ambitious goals. We get very, very scared of setting those big, ambitious goals because we know what the path towards them entails. It's a torturous path if you don't know the art of how to train yourself for actually what is to come after the goal as a milestone is accomplished. After the achievement of this goal opens the doors to a better life to you. We need to train for that as we are approaching this goal. And this is the same principle for the discipline. The discipline must be integrated with a consistent training of our mind, of our psyche, of our body, of our senses, such that we remain grounded, such that we remain recharged, such that we learn to experience life in the process, such that the achievement of the goal is not an overwhelming event there and then, for the consequences of which we're not prepared, such that the goal there and then is not a cover-up, a justification for why right now we're putting our life to the side, why we feel like real life will begin there and then. In this mindset, in this mentality, in this way of operating our body and mind, this indivisible system, we are going to build a quite miserable life, even if a few first big ambitious goals will be met. Those big ambitious goals will leave you exhausted, remorseful, with FOMO, not understanding what to do, with this conflict of I have everything but I have no idea what to do with it. I have everything but I don't feel any satisfaction from that. I have everything but I'm totally unhappy. Everyone who is joining, please like the stream and ask your questions below. I'm actually going to go back to the chat. Hello everyone, today we have quite a bit of audience, so let's chat a little bit. And then I will tell you the story actually that illustrates today's topic. I came prepared. So, okay, positive reinforcement. I heard that aviation school did a study of constructive criticism versus scolding students. The constructive criticism was way more effective. That's wonderful because constructive criticism is kind of separating the persona from what they're doing. This is a very important pedagogical thing because then you are standing by the side of your student, looking at their work, as opposed to looking at the student and their work and spitting in their face. This is a very good method in my opinion. First time viewer, the first thing that popped in my head, Hippocrates. Okay, I got it. Discipline in Tantra is spirit diminishing the entropy while receiving pleasure, doing it without suffering, right? This is very hard way to state it. There's like, and I don't work with term spirit. To me, spirit is how we perceive hormonal activity of a human. You know, I derive this concept. I derive the concept for the soul as being electromagnetic property of our brain, and then spirit is how we perceive the hormonal activity in the other human. Like when we look at the human, we perceive their hormones. Is there high testosterone? Is there high estrogen? Is there high cortisol? Is there high adrenaline? What are they projecting? There are, of course, more hormones, but what this composition, hormonal composition, appears to us like, and that's what we define as spirit. That's what we perhaps also read as temperament of a human, excitability in general, the behavior, the level of charisma. So that's what I consider spirit. Spirit diminishing the entropy. Why entropy there? Please write it in some more earthly terms, please, Avatapa. You won't get to college because of blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what you just said. Hippocrates may change, might try and listen for a change. I never did look up the word entropy. Russian girl. Have you seen the doctor lately out in space? Out in space? Why are you not out in space yet? Actually, I'm myself a doctor. I see a doctor in the mirror every day. So are those eyes blue or am I? Oh, yes, they are blue. Some consequences. Ooh, that's a fun proposal, David Hayes. Come to think of it, I haven't. I hope they're okay. You're looking like Max from Stranger Things. I'm not familiar, but I think somebody told me that, and I think I googled that. Maybe I'm familiar with that. I don't remember. Still, Kelda. Good morning, all. Good morning. Hello from India, Utkarsh. Sorry, Utkarsh Gupta. Kila, thank you. Mendoza. What are you teaching? I'm teaching Tantra, Utkarsh. Of course, it's always, to me, it's a very interesting way to communicate this to people from India because it may appear a little bit, does it appear as cultural appropriation? I don't know, but I'm certified as Tantra Coach by a person who is initiated in Kamakya Tantra. So these are my credentials, and I super love my craft, and I super love this discipline. Ben, hello. Вова Господний. Здравствуй, Вова. I bet she can do cool horny voice and sound like horn, like a wind instrument. Not familiar with that. Scravis, hello, Scravis, you. How about yesterday's proposal? Scravis, I want to learn whatever you're teaching. Wonderful spirit, David. Good eyes, but small tits. American philosopher. American philosopher, God. Why are you philosopher? You should be a practitioner. Would you, out in space, would you like to join the adult film industry? No, thanks. Christian Soto, baby, you got my money. Whoa. Kenny, I actually don't know what despicable means. I'm sorry. So I want to make my dream come true. I want to be with you. You're my name. If you want to be my boyfriend, then I want to give it to you. Kazimo, I'm not a boy to be a boyfriend. I'm sorry. One silly question. How much money will your dad give if someone, I don't know. It's her birthday, Scravis. No, every day can be a birthday. Let's celebrate every day. Who cares about those conventions? Happy birthday. Thank you. Chat moving fast, Kiva. Yay. So, Daniel, welcome. Hello, namaste. Praveen Singh, namaste. Beta, Kenny. What's beta? Alpha, beta, gamma, sigma. Are you sigma, Kenny? Love the smile. Scravis, happy birthday with $2. Scravis, I still remember yesterday's proposal. Thank you so much for your contribution. Oh my God, Susan. Hello, where are you from? From many places. I think we hit the goal you mentioned earlier, madam. Yes. So, I have annihilation. I have incinerator sticks with me today. So all bad behaved boys and girls will be incinerated. That's how we go here. So think before you type. Let's go on a date, cutie. Woo, where? I'll come. 2 messages. Double down on this topic. I want to marry you. I want to marry me. Um, I love your accent or voice or both. Figure it out, please. Tim joined. I'm out of a job. It looks like troll sanctuary. Hippocrates have fun. Get inspiration. We live and we learn. Thank you, Christian. It's not even her birthday. I want my $2 back. Scravis, yesterday you were bringing up totally different rhetoric. I don't know what changed overnight. It sounds like your love was so fragile, it's insane. Well, it's getting late, Abatapa. Yes, it is. Where are you from? From many places. Russian troll agent. Woo. This one gives me an early writing break. Shuriken, hello! No, Nasty and friends been busy down here, and I'm trying to spend more time away from this infernal machine, but I hope everyone is well. Shuriken, thank you. I'm also hoping that you've been well. Thank you for joining. Misinformation troll. Epics, get out. Pooh! First incineration. Hello from Paris. So sweet. Camille, hello. Welcome. Hey Teachy, hope it's going well. Chunky Cat, just scroll up and down at this point. Scravis, it's nothing to laugh about. I'm being serious, okay? Where are you from? From any place? Thank you, James Miller. The products, let me pin the products here. Please, guys, if you like my hair, these are the products. Hello there, PT Trip. Poo, poo, poo. Everyone who's joining like the stream, we're going to talk about the discipline for once today. Again, we've covered some introduction of how people get remorseful, how people get such a almost visceral perception, negative perception of discipline, and I just covered it briefly here, but now it's time for the story. Actually, today the discipline became a personal thing. I was really debating actually going online today because I woke up really early today because I needed to go do some bureaucratic thing, and then from like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. I was on the walk. I was walking, going. Scravis, disciplining you. Thank you so much. So I was walking, and then I came home. I prepared food, and then I was sitting on the balcony eating this mega juicy steak. Perfection of the steak that I made. It was the big chunk, and I made a steak with butter, garlic, and black pepper, and with a little bit of basil, and this. And I also prepared pickled onions with that, like apple cider vinegar and onions. And I was sitting on the balcony looking at the sea and mountains, and I was sun tanning. The sun was so divine, and I'm eating the steak, juicy, flavorful, bloody steak. I'm cutting in it, and I see my skin like glows in the sun, and oh my god, I felt such a like rush of I cannot stay home anymore. I was underslept, but this whole thing was so, like, it gave me so much meaning. It gave me so much inspiration. I could not stay home. I went to the sea. I laid down. I'm like laying down there, those beautiful rocks, forests, sunshine, and the sea, and I'm like in the sand, and I feel like I'm the sun worshiper. Total power of nature. I go in the water is cold, so absolutely wonderfully cold. Just the most divine experience on the planet. It was so amazing. I, of course, later fell asleep on the beach as always. I mean, I go in this like dormant state, don't fully fall asleep. I kind of go for that. And then I go back home up in the mountain and I'm so tired and I'm so blissful. And like, maybe I should skip the stream tonight and just take it easy, go slow, just calm down, roll off my day, and go to bed early. And then I'm like, I'm literally talking about discipline tonight. And I'm going to miss that. So what I did, I started focusing because we're talking about tantric approach. What I do, I start focusing on the stream. I started focusing on what I would say, what energy it would have, how it would feel, what I would give, what I project, what I want to try, what I want to discuss. And at that moment, I'm like, I start building a part of mine that is fully resourceful to conduct the stream. Like from the point of this physical exhaustion, even from the sleepiness, from the decision that I could just lay down and relax and be a vegetable for the rest of the night, I started pumping up the energy into the persona that is capable of conducting this thing, of persona who is excited to conduct it, persona who is capable of conducting it. So I started focusing on that persona. And there, I found a lot of resource. That thing, when I felt the commitment that I'm doing that, and also I have wonderful live stream recording about commitment, the moment I committed to the idea that I am doing it, the energy went up. I started feeling how it's going, and it became an undoubted decision to just go for it. It was effortless going for it. Absolutely beautiful technique. When you are choosing between the two things, and this is how we work with discipline in Tantra, we work with two competing dominants. And the energy of the dominant that wins will consume the energy of the dominant that loses. So when we're facing this choice, for example, do something that I usually do, or do something new, if we opt for something new, then this something new will be powered up with all the energy that was contained previously or wasted previously in what we didn't do. And that creates the synergistic process of just rolling with that. There is another tantric trick that is only found, in my experience, it is only found in certain meditation in which you are resourcing yourself for a specific goal. I had very powerful revelation first when I was meditating on the relationship aspect. When I realized that I felt like relationships were kind of always burdensome for me. And unless they were like avoidant relationships, unless they were toxic relationships, when there would be like escape into activities. In good relationships, I just feel like, and I always felt like it was to blame the relationships, to blame the partner. Until in one meditation, I came to a revelation that it was all this time it was me. All this time it was me who was not resourcing the whole half of me. I was not in the state suitable for relationships. And I found that state that was suitable. And that, by analogy with that, I can resource any important kind of persona that is not activated in the moment. For example, I'm running on the automation of a tired person, on the person who decided to just be a vegetable today. But am I really tired? Am I fully, really tired? Or is there a component that has much more energy, that can harvest more energy? Oftentimes, if you're physically well, if you're physically regulated, the answer will be yes. And with that, we can work and we can power up this state. Be it in relationships. In relationships, it's sometimes like, I just want to lay down and just enjoy something. Instead of, for example, giving some treatment to a partner, we're expecting something to ourselves egotistically, or demanding emotional service from the partner because we ourselves have not activated the powerful, complete persona. The same happens with activities. Are you in that persona who is capable of doing that? Where is that resource? It's really valuable to use meditation, tantric meditation, to discover that. Are you really tired, just completely destroyed, unable, unmotivated, needing discipline with the whip, whip, whip? Or are you just not connected with your component that is capable of doing it and enjoying it and getting energy from it? This is the secret. This is the whole thing about this topic. Not whole thing. We can, of course, work on many, many paths. I already listed several methods of working on that. Let me go back to the chat. By the sounds of the story, madam, I wouldn't blame you for skipping the stream tonight, but of course appreciate you for going live anyway. Skiva, it came like a natural solution. It came like a natural decision. So it was my experiment. It was my experiment to identify whether there is a genuine vegetable state or whether there is energy. I experimented with that, and when I felt that energy started going, energy started coming, felt like I'm going, I'm doing it. Skravis, thank you so much. I've only had a few days like that, Dwayne says. I wish you beautiful days that you can create that will be as enjoyable or more enjoyable than my day today. Amen. Shh. These are magic ones as well. They're incinerator and also they create magic. Dwayne? Fair play to nice steak. Keep on rocking in the free world. You make me want to bass guitar and start playing. Leslie Byram. Go ahead. Magic to you. Shh. Leslie? My dominance is to be the best I can every day. I'm playing guitar tonight with my band and we play a lot of good music. Wonderful. Congratulations. Oh my god, it's like music sessions with a band are phenomenal. I envy you a little bit as well. The story is not about discipline, it's priority management, reframing in some way. If you love what you're doing, it's not discipline. It is. Avatapam. You missed it a little bit. Keep on, okay, I would agree with most of that. Hippocrates, okay, we're teaming against my stance. We're taking stage in 45 minutes and I'm watching you on YouTube to relax me. Woo! Do you want to be relaxed or do you want to be cheerleader? Do you want a cheerleader? Discipline is a practice of training yourself or others to obey rules, maintain self-control, and behave in a controlled manner to achieve goals. Sabatapa, I don't see any contradiction with that. Because Avatapa, where do you find contradiction? How do you identify contradiction there? You are not doing, thank you, Kiva, 2-2, with 2 on 2. So how is choosing the option that requires extra action, that requires to create an extra domain, that requires special attitude, that requires you to be put in the conditions that are not immediately instant gratification? How is that not a discipline? Explain to me. And how is that not to the results of the discipline? The trick is to do discipline without discipline, Abatapa. We're not going to do this flagellant thing. We're not building a persona with the whip. We're learning the art of showing to yourself the gratification. We're learning the art of entering the state in which those processes happen naturally. This is the art. This is where without discipline happens. Discipline just takes a back seat when dealing with a task that interest and love drives you first. But when you want to lay down on the couch, and how many people, Hippocrates, how many people have this list of what they would want to do that they totally love doing, but every single day they're on the couch on their phone. How many people just turn on the TV, they do this, sit back, and nothing new happens in their life, and in the only space in which something new is happening is in their mind, in their imagination, or in the conversations with their dear friends, or later in the regret space, reminiscing about the past, decisions that led approximately to nowhere, or looking at people who executed on their dreams and went somewhere, whereas were doing this. A lot of people, they have a huge list of what they would love to do. But they also have a huge list for every point in that list why they would not do it today, why they would do it there and then. And it feels like they build a failure history that becomes overwhelming and that they cannot carry on with. It becomes their depression steam as opposed to becoming their inspiration steam at some point. It overpowers them. Is that another common story? My grandpa asked if you still have an OF, but I don't have, I never had it. And if so, how much? You're confusing me with someone. Yeah, so waking up at 5 a.m. to do a boring job for no reason, just to go through life as vegetable, that's discipline. Going to job to feed 3 kids, that's easy. Priorities, that's it. It's not easy. It's how you explain it to yourself. But it's not easy, regardless, because you don't power up to that. They love their phone more than they do making jewelry, etc. They don't love it. They opt for it because it's the habitual, it's the easiest thing to do. It's not what they love. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the most familiar thing to do. And I think we've all been there, probably. Most of us have all been there. When we make that choice against something that we would want to do really. Because unfamiliar things, especially something to do something new, to do something that has some unexpected, for example, outcomes, also requires some resource. Where is this resource found? How will you generate that? How will you generate that? Naman, hello. Yes, been there. Get it the easiest option. So you love both. That's the concept of two competing dominants. You would love to do some, I don't know, some spa treatment and go to sleep, or you would love to go to the party with your friends. You love both. One just takes more energy. And the question is, are you really, really down? Are you really not resourceful? If you are not resourceful all day, every day, perhaps it is you settling for being not resourceful and making choices to propagate that dysfunctional system of being not resourceful, as opposed to finding some way to the resourceful step, to the resourceful domain in which you can do something else. Very true, madam. Thank you, teammate. Are you really that? The question, I don't know what this question means. Do you the color red? I don't know what you mean. Mr. Handsome. He. Okay, everyone who's joining, please like this stream. Subscribe to my channel, of course. Tantra Coach, Tantra Therapist. Let me get your number. Teammate Law, the title to list. Every time we're presented with a new challenge key. So, let me check if I have tea, by the way. And then we'll continue. Give me your number right now. I don't have a number, I'm sorry. I don't use phone. So let's put it on the whiteboard now. Let's do some writing. We are completely reframing the concept of discipline here. Discipline without discipline. Discipline fueled by pleasure. Discipline fueled by fine-tuning our brain. Discipline that is fueled by us finding the source of energy. Speaking of tea, I should get my mind ready. Of course, Kiva. I have green tonight. Don't share your number here. I'm a bad person. Naman, I don't have a number. Yuppie, you are leaving this chat. Bye-bye. Poo poo poo. Incinerated, another one. So, the concept, discipline without discipline, is power actions through finding energy and ease, as opposed to, this is what we're leaving behind a little bit, as opposed to this flagellant self-disciplining. So this is our dichotomy here. Madam is number one. Kiwa, thank you. Incinerator was just pew pew and that, yep. So are we on the same page here? Is there any rebellion, guys? Are there any objections? Sense of disgust towards this concept? Do you feel when you're reading this, do you feel like turning off this live stream and never returning again? On the same page with Kiva, wonderful. Same team, same page. No rebellion. Okay, good. Because today we're focusing on this component. So how is this achieved? Through Tantra. Through Tantra. I'm not in rebellion, it's a healthy challenge. Not returning, I wouldn't think of that. Who was with me when we did practice with Luis on the live stream? Who was with me? Kiva was with me. Hippocrates, were you with me when we did practice with Luis for social anxiety? Practice with who? With Luis. Luis, like this. Luis. Never heard of him. Luis. We did a practice for social anxiety where we were, what is this about, Cam? Cam is about discipline without discipline. I'm a Tantra coach. I'm teaching Tantra. Great gold tooth. What do you mean? You mean I'm in the costume of gold tooth? Somewhat. Possibly. Okay. If we depict, I think I remember zoning about this, okay? This is our human. Let's draw a happy human. Whoop. Very happy human. How many subs do you have? I don't have any subs. I don't eat bread. I'm doing everything for attention. No, I'm clearly not. The beauty of attending every live stream, you don't miss anything, Kiva. The stream reruns are helpful too. Yes. If I go out of my way to remove all other stimulation, I think I can achieve what you're getting at. Dwayne, it's not about that. You're not running from anything. So this human, let's say, let's move the lamp a little bit, such that it's not shining on the board. Can you still see? Good. So this human has some life, some box here. Well, there are a couple of compartments. This human has a couple of automations to tackle each of these things. Life is pretty uniform for many people, not so eventful. If a person doesn't work on their state, if the person doesn't pursue novelty, if the person doesn't fill their life with experiences, a lot of the lives are actually pretty narrow and demanding in practice just a few automations. This is me like at work, this is me at work, this is me at home, this is me, I don't know, whatever. Just a couple of those automations. This is our ordinary life. And then each of these roles, they come with certain reward system. There are some cycles that this person is running. They're automated. There is a very high level of predictability usually. There is very clear way to get reward from each of these systems. But now, this human is going through Tantra. When we start working on Tantric methods, we suddenly discover that to live the life that we want, we can upload a bunch more of roles and states. We suddenly can access the whole assortment of things. Etc. Let's draw them, just for good measure. Which shape? Let's do a cylinder. So, thank you, Cam. Welcome. Omer Guleser. Hi. When you start working with a Tantra coach, you start noticing that you do perform practices that show you that there is so much more about you. And each of these roles, they have their own input and output, or however we want to picture that. You're so much more than these things. You have so much more capacity. Every system that you connect with, every system that you commit to, you start getting resources in and out. Etc. So now, through practices, you can easily connect with your persona that, let's say, responsible for your connected with your, I know, you have a dream to dance, you have a dream to perform choreography on stage. You connect with this persona and you enforce it. You weigh it down. You gradually work on this persona to bring it to the same tier of importance and automation as these, as something that belongs to your casual repertoire. And we do this through meditation. We do this through meditative practices because meditation bypasses rational, like not even rational, but some why nots. Meditation bypasses psychological defenses. Meditation bypasses rationalizations. Meditation bypasses verbal barriers because words cannot depict everything that we are to communicate. For example, I barely can communicate to you what I felt in certain practices. I need to practice them with you such that you understand their effect. This is the trick, how Tantra works fast, how Tantra works effectively, partially because we are not dealing with the space of the words. We can set up the task with words, but the main transformation happens in the plane of your imagery. How you associate phenomena, how you feel phenomena, how you regard the barriers, how you can work with the barriers, what's organic to your psyche. This is how we connect. At first, we connect with each of these components, and then we can power them up. In Tantra, we also, another powerful principle of Tantra is that we're not only using the space of our consciousness or space of our unconscious. We're also using sound, we're also using objects, we're using touch, we're using imagery. We can enforce each of these roles with their own set of stimuli that will ingrain it in our brain, that will speed up integration of these roles into our automations. It's your habit to go to work. It's your habit to do what you usually do at home. It's your habit to do something else. No, sound like few activities that fill your life. It will become your habit to be in the state that is capable of doing something else. Choreography. I want to dance, I want to perform, I want to go to dance school, I want to have this super plasticity in the body, I want to have this fluidity in the body, openness, mobility, expressiveness. Or I want to film videos, I want to post them on social media, I want to share my energy, my craft, this artistic communication skill. I want to demonstrate this communication with others. I want to deliver that. I want to bring it to the world. This is the persona that will be responsible for it. We find it. We find that persona, and we find in the meditation, you can be tired after work. You can be tired after work. You still have physical calories. You still have ATP, energy in the form of ATP. You still have nutritional load, caloric load in your body that is capable of fueling this up. Something in your mind is an impediment. Something in your mind brings resistance to that. This is what's felt, overcoming that. That's what felt as discipline. I will go to the dance school. I will go, eventually I will go. You're overcoming some barrier. That persona doesn't have a barrier. That persona is in plastic, fluid, beautiful body. It moves, it senses the music. It goes online and freely talks about that. I am so passionate about choreography. I'm super stoked. I really want to embrace it to the fullest. I really want to attend the class with this teacher. I'm so excited. This weekend, I just bought some, I don't know, high heels, if it's high heels. I just bought some pants or some top. Check this out. The world, look at this. It's so amazing. There is a free, unbound energy in that. There is no barrier because you are not approaching that from a, so tired after work. Oh, you're not approaching that from that persona. It's improper distribution of roles. You bring situational awareness to that. Just as with relationships. Remember, I'm always talking about relationships. Make it a beautiful garden where you enter. You and your partner enter and interact there. Situational awareness. Where am I right now? I enter relationships, so I am in relationships. And that loads up the component that is sexy, that is flirtatious, that enjoys the partner, that can enjoy the play, that has energy for pleasure, that knows that I'm in this beautiful garden of enjoyment, indulgence. I'm in this beautiful garden of physical and emotional pleasures. I bring, basically what we do, we bring situational awareness instead of sticking with three roles. Rebellion, comments, questions. All your stage is yours, guys. Ho ho ho. I I hope the universe blesses you with a good, kind-hearted, a black man. I'm meditating for a good, kind-hearted black man to manifest in your life. Rip Watts. Can you share your meditation with me, please? I'm very curious how you do this methodologically. Chad, hello? What's the theory of relativity like today? Google it. But I can't agree the creation of routines in the direction of goal we pursue is the discipline. How can we change the synaptic wiring for the good habits and the bad habits? Omerguleser. This is exactly how we can do it. This is one of the routes for that, along with, of course, the foundational tantric work, which is to start being able to switch from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system response and create the balance between stress, negativity, exhaustion, and pleasure, joy, rest, relaxation. This is the foundation of our work, plus also biochemical adjustments that are achieved through food, through sleep. I'm not a role model on that tonight, but I will catch up for sure. So through sleep, through being out and about, moving healthily, through eating well, without all of those funny diets, dietary choices, self-restrictions, self-abuse, basically. You're so pretty. Where are you from? Anna Ben. Anna Ben, thank you so much for your kind words. I am, Russian, American. Now I live in the Mediterranean Sea. Good stir fry. ATP is cool, but do mitochondria is powerhouse of the cell. It is. Aren't they related? That's a matter of distraction, meditation. What's up, people? Let's talk about Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle. Let's not talk about Krebs cycle. It's not relevant for us today. It's a well-established thing that everyone can learn in any biochemistry and biology, physiology book. Do you think meditation has benefits, or is it nonsense? So, a meditation has benefits for sure, because meditation is when you focus on something, and when you are fully immersed in solving any problem. This effectively is a meditation. When you perform this full immersion, or also there are meditations that are diffusion meditations. For instance, there are meditations that are exercises that are training particular skills. That's what we do in the workshops. Workshops, by the way, to participate, if you're enjoying my content so far, info at rawformoflife.com. Just email me that you want to participate in the workshop, and I will add you to the group. So in the workshops, we perform meditations and exercises. I stopped meditating. I had several pretty freaky experiences during them. Share if you wish. You're pretty, Ken. God, thank you so much for your compliment. Society is blind by the system's own distraction from the benefits of meditation. Yes. I hear committing to the role bring energy, right? Committing to the role, finding the role, finding it, discovering it. Committing is committing to the new system via tapping into the role. That's how it works. That's probably the better wording, the better sequence of events. Yes, right. No rebellion, no questions from me, all clear so far. Chad, I feel pleasure, joy, and rest when I sit down after work. Wonderful. Wonderful. Focus on that. Savor it. Enhance it. Celebrate it. In general, our philosophy here is we celebrate every day. We strive to live in the way that we celebrate every day, because every day is what forms 99.99999% of our life. And if we're not celebrating that, then what are we living for? What about the fact, how Tantra sees it, that you receive energy burst when you overcome own weaknesses, laziness, childness, etc., solely through willpower, through discipline? You can overcome it once, you can overcome it twice, and it's a very commonplace phenomenon when people overcome it once or twice when they're in manic phase, and then they're unable to overcome it on the third, fourth, and fifth time, and they slip into the cycle of guilt. Cycle of guilt and self-punishment. If before they were punishing themselves by not doing something, now they have a reason for punishing themselves even more for doing so, for having done something and then failed. That failure system. This is why we're pro-gradual approach with building the foundation, tantric foundation, our work, and also through connecting with these things on a deeper level, such that we're not using some sudden, occasional surplus of some blip of energy when, for example, we got a raise at work. So now there is this blip of motivation, and this blip of motivation goes to power up something else. We're kind of using some achievement here, some sharp blip, to celebrate it by kind of doing something new. Or we attend some Tony Robbins and we are, say yes, I'm a business owner, I'm a business machine, I achieved $500,000 a year, say yes. We said that for 1 week in a good crowd, and we got this energy burst, and that is not substantiated. It's not an organic thing that comes from within us. It's something that we got from outside, because there's no relationship with us. It's not the energy that comes from our own reserves, from our own resources, from this commitment to something. It's not the energy that is sustainable. It's not our body part. It's not the part of our body-mind system. It is something that was donated to us in those circumstances. It was donated. This spike happened. I did something extra. And then it died out because it never incorporated in the system. It never was found to be a part of our core system. When we do these things, we are finding the core system. We're finding the systemic resources that are not being used. We're not borrowing energy from external systems. It's not going to Tony Robbins for that. It is going in the depth. And in the depth, we're finding that resource that we were oblivious to. It did not exist in our awareness. Overcome in general, weaknesses, overcoming. This language is in general not something that I use in my practice. But the moment you feel it in the practice, you will know what, you will feel what I say. So, what was I saying? Yeah, that I don't use those words, that it's weakness, that needs to be overcome. I tend to avoid those words. For the reason because I work in the imagery of the client. I work in the imagery of a person who comes to me. I guide them inside of their space. I can't say that in this visual that this thing will be necessarily a barrier to overcome. What if it's something to dissolve? What if it's something to outgrow? What if it's something to expand out of? What if it's something to burn with light? I don't want to push the concept of overcoming, because overcoming is also resistance word. It's resistance. My job is to dissolve resistances, to help a person to dissolve resistances. Weakness, weakness. I don't want to split a person into this is your side and this is your good, strong side. This good, strong side should look down at this side. We don't want that. We don't want to power up the internal conflict. We don't want to create the hierarchy of good and bad. We want to create the repertoire. We want to create an assortment. Hippocrates, thank you. Thank you so much. Batapa, is it clear? That's the path, is overcoming. Because why not? Why overcome? I mean, it can be overcoming for someone, stepping over. What is overcoming, Abatapa? I really would be curious to do the walk through the psyche with you. I'm really curious how your mind would read certain things in your mind, how it will display them. What methods would you be finding inside of the meditation? Sorry. Ура, support. Да, Kiyushka. Wonderful. Imagine how powerful David Goggins would be if he did Tantra, Chad. Facts. If he did Tantra, I don't even know. It would be such a crisis, I think, at first. I would really I want to work with some celebrity person, because these are people who do manage a lot of things. And when we look at someone like David Goggins, this is the power of trauma just propelling the person. It's such an interesting case. I really want to manifest, or maybe I should not manifest. I mean, it would be interesting. You know, it's like with desires, you don't know what to expect from these people. I would really want to work with someone in that position. It's really curious. Really curious how the tools of Tantra will be shaping them, how it will be changing them. I think it's the matter of a little bit of time that I will be working with someone like that. Because I just feel it. But yeah, I wonder what powers he would have. In general, what is power? Powerful David Goggins, imagine, it's like he's holding on to his, at least his commercial image, right? We can only talk about commercial image of those people. At some point, they become marketing tools for their product. David Goggins says his image portrays is someone who's holding on to the identity of power. What is that power? The fact that you can, I don't know, sit in some cold water and run some extra marathon, that is power. Okay, what's the function of that power? What is this for? What is this identity for? If you stop laying in cold water on camera showing how you are torturing yourself in this cold water, or running some extra marathons, also draining your vitality, increasing, putting your body through some insane stress. What if that disappears? What's left? And what's beneath that power? What's beneath this idea, concept of power? Because there is clearly some hierarchy, that there is some disgusting, weak, pitiful creature, and then there is this powerful, almighty person who actually robs this weak creature of vital resources. It's all like this micro loan situation with very high percent. So it's a really interesting case, But again, yeah, with media persona, one of the facets why it may not be as interesting is because the idea of theirs is shaped by their media product. We don't know whether personas who achieve certain level of standing and presence and size in society, whether they in public represent their authentic self. That's another consideration. So that's important thing to remember about when we're analyzing those personas. Maybe David Goggins is, I don't know, maybe he embodied himself already behind the scenes and just goes to work bringing his content up. So we don't know. But as an archetype, he is surely a representation of a wide variety of people, I think. Or inspiration for many boys and many girls as well. Moment of silence for David Goggins' calories, I guess, that he consumes. That's the point. There are people that get energy from overcoming own part and weaknesses, own flaws. Yes, they have a list. It's programmed in childhood, sure, but it works. David Martin, hey, once again, hi. There are people that get energy from overcoming. Yeah, that's that pump, up and crush, up and crush. The thing is that when it happens, the focus is on weakness, the focus is on flaws, the focus is not on living a good life, which means that if they build the skill, if they build the habit of this overcoming and receiving reward from that, they will depend on having so-called weaknesses, so-called flaws, because the moment they realize that they don't have weaknesses or flaws, their life ends. They don't know how to get reward from that. That's the paradox. When the focus is on overcoming weakness, overcoming this, overcoming that, not on how I can enjoy my life, but I'm focusing on overcoming. I'm overcoming something. This is when our life gets centered around that. The crisis will be needed at all times. The crisis, the problem, the flaw. When I focus on improving my life, this work of basic hygiene, of working with my character, of adapting myself to some better environment or some environments to make my life better, that thing becomes instrumental. It's not the focus. I get reward from enjoying my life as a result. I don't get a reward from fighting off concept. Like I'm attached to this concept and then fight it off. Wow, so cool. My focus is past that. So this thing is instrumental. Flick, boom, gone. And I'm enjoying my life. Then something else, I'm like walking on my life path. Something else arises and I'm like, Okay, I need to work on this thing. It's kind of interference. It's not convenient. It's like always, in my view, it's inconvenient to walk with it. So I find the tool to work with it. I flick it, whoop, enjoying life again. My priority is to enjoy life. My priority is not to, what a shitty character. Disgusting, disgusting, get out of here. It's not the focus. That's our principle. That's what we do in Tantra. We're not sitting with this thing and like beating it up until it dies. The bigger the challenge, the more willpower used, the more energy bursts. They ran for years on that. Until their body gives up. Usually body gives up and they're like, oh, alarm. Or they find they achieve everything and they're like, icho, what? Now, Goggins also discussed how destroyed his knees and other joints are from his physical endeavors, which is important. You end up with great debt when you abuse your body and mind for an outcome. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. But people have this wonderful diversity in their tolerance range. One person may be doing what Goggins is doing, despite the pain, despite the obvious destruction, and they will not prioritize good life. They will not prioritize respect to their body, because identity and this attitude is the focus. They don't see the path behind it. They cannot enjoy the path behind it. The skill of enjoyment is not built. The skill of self-abuse is built. So we're constantly going to be performing the self-abuse. That's the trick. David Martin, discipline without discipline. But I bet he receives a lot of pride and fulfillment from that, right? Good analysis of David Goggins. Thank you, Chad. I'm not a fan really, but I was thinking the contrast between the two mindsets, and what if they combine and just a juxtaposition. Yeah, when you're in a sense selling your soul for the bag like Goggins, you lose that drive, you know? Chunky Cat, have you been with me since veganism? Or ex-veganism? I remember that conundrum because I started getting a lot of commercial perspectives on my veganism the moment I started feeling how it was destroying me. And I also started being very aware of how people are destroying themselves and how, despite that, they are lying to themselves. They're lying to their audience, or they're lying to themselves to not lie to their audience. And that was very scary, very frustrating, depressing experience to witness, and realizing that I was getting noticed in the moment when I needed to endorse veganism. It was when I was not willing to do that. The conflict was so crazy. For 4 months, I stopped doing YouTube at some point. Unless did you hear thunder? Phone maybe, or that. She's repeating the same thing and then loading. Now we wait. Chat is open, I guess. Do you hear me? Okay, I'm back. Nice. So, do you know who Izum was in Russian raw food scene? No, I don't. Excellent. Jim Rett? Yes, I am. Who are the heroes who sat through all the... Kiva is a hero. Chunky Cat is a hero. Jim Rat, yes, I am an ex-vegan. You know, to hit American audience, I needed to do some this. So that's why we probably had technical issues. Plus, also it's thunderstorm outside, so maybe that somehow affects signal. David Goggins just struck your connection with his power. What was that in your life? Yeah, what was that in your life that made you see the light? Destruction of collagen. inability to heal injuries and actually having injuries because I was always an acrobat, and basically losing connection with my body, with the body that I used to know, and that was really scary. Where were we? We are on many topics, and fortunately, actually, I wasn't vegan for too long. Electric War, can I ask you a question? Of course you can, always ask me questions. Why do people project hate onto people? That's a good question. Why do people project hate on other people, onto other people? That's a good question. Sarmat test, what's that? So, why do people project hate? Do you have any particular examples? Electric Aura, if you want to give me some story that we can figure out, then will be more substance to our conversation, I think. If you have an example. Wait, a hero? Yes. I don't know, to me, it's the hardest thing for me in communication online is when the internet starts doing I for some reason get so infuriated. So I really appreciate when people stay through that thing. So thank you, everyone. Case studies are always the best. Yes, no, in general, online, in person, at work. But you're saying it's projection of hate onto others. What do you mean by projection? Like you mean that I experience a lot of hate, so I assume that people hate as well? Or or the case when I am filled with hate, so I'm going to hate on others? What do you mean? Oh, Batava, thank you so much. It's a kiss on the forehead to my internet. Thomas Rajelis, what is your opinion on men's looks maxing trend? Slavic Queen, please give verdict. Ура, support, yes, Kivushka. Once again. So let's write down on the whiteboard the topics that we need to cover. So stick around, Thomas. We'll go through the hate thing first. And then we will go through looks maxing because that's something actually I've been thinking a lot about. Today, even thought about it. I thought about maybe I should make a video on that. I really, by the way, this like circle of things, I really want to practice with you guys. So one of the workshops we should devote to doing the practice with finding those personas, with finding those components of your personality. So we are having, this is my email, everyone, if you want to participate in the next upcoming workshop, reformoflife.com. And we have first hate, bullying, and second is looks maxing. Okay? So things they've been through, like a bully who's bullies. It's like hate is a part of the world, but why is it a thing? Also, Electric War, do you have any, why do you think about it? Why is that bothering you? I really want to know. Looks maxing jokes. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Please like this live stream when you join. Subscribe to my channel. I'm Tantra Coach, Tantra Therapist. Our live streams are highly interesting. Our community is very cool, very supportive, very smart, very humorous. So please stick around. We discuss a lot of wonderful things here, and we have a lot of progress, even within the live streams. Yes, Kiva, we need to put it on a note for probably the workshop after the next one, okay? So I'll put it on my records. Like, hate is part of the world, but why is it a thing? Why are you bothered? Electric war. When you encounter this hate, what keywords come to your mind with that? I've seen people project hate and all these negative emotions into others. Happens when they don't have the ability to process these emotions through energy manipulation. That is one way to look at it, yes. Now, the person is overwhelmed, the person is a little bit perhaps stuck in some developmental phase. Remember our talk on infantilism and childishness, how infantilism is a traumatized childhood component. And that's when they cannot sort their feelings, sort them out on their own. They need some mirror, they need to bounce those feelings off someone. They feel this overwhelm, or sometimes also people bond on the basis of hate. Sometimes hate is an invitation to bond. Let's make friends. Let's connect. It also can be a connection vehicle. So from overwhelm, from not being in the leadership state, from being stuck in some developmental phase based on trauma, and from the desire of connection. Because if they see that the environment is conducive to rather negative connection, they may opt for expressing hate as the means of finding camaraderie, as the means of being seen. So that's another one. Since I was younger, I've been highly empathetic because of a mother who was dysfunctional. She had some hate in her sometimes. Okay, relatable, very, very popular actually scenario. We get highly empathetic because we need it's our adaptation to volatile, unsafe environment when we expect safety. So that's a commonplace phenomena with such mothers when they happen to birth an empath. So she had some hate in her sometimes, and now you're probably hypersensitive to hate. It probably triggers some associations from childhood. It probably you associate yourself with people who are being hated. It's hypothesis, just let me know if it's true. You associate yourself with people who are hated, and you load up instantly. You load up from the library of your experiences. You load up this vision that the environment is unsafe now because you associate, because of your empathy, you also associate with people who are being hated. And you, having not had played the scenario of revenge, I had a video with blasphemy, I don't know if you watched that, about mother relationships. It's a practice blasphemy because it's typically very advised, very much against it in all cultures where authority of the elders is regarded very highly, very much respected. So there's a practice of blasphemy when you actually act aggressively in response to aggression that you were subjected to. And that's where you can load up new scenarios for yourself. So when you pretty much re-enter your own scenario through somebody else, that's where the demand to complete the act of aggression, respond adequately there and then in childhood, might be recalled. And also that is necessary. Why it is recalled? Because perhaps your aggression, as in you imposing enough influence on the world in accordance to your energy, in accordance to your vision, in accordance to your desires, by, no, thank you so much, Ecstasy. Very pretty, disco ball. This thing is not exercised. So your nature is calling you to act. Our aggression our ability to stick up for ourselves, our ability to defend our boundaries is the survival mechanism. Without it, we would not survive. But parents who are incapable of managing their emotions, who are incapable of handling a child, learning their boundaries, who need to crush the boundaries of a child, they are teaching the child this counterintuitive, harmful skill that goes against their survival, that goes against their leadership, to not defend themselves when subjected to aggression. They communicate to a child that you're prohibited to do that. So with every act of hate out there, you are being called to complete that act, to regain that aggression, to reclaim that aggression, to reclaim that energy that's stored in it, that's suppressed in it. That's my recommendation would be for this hypersensitivity is to go in the car, go in some place where you will not be heard, induce a vision, a scene from your childhood or scenes from your childhood, from your adulthood, and yell and scream and roar at all of those bitches, at all of those nasty people. Scream it. Give them the teaching, give them the lesson. You can move with your body, you can beat them, you can do whatever you want in your imaginary drama scene. But do it, complete the act. How many interesting revelations you will have as a result of this practice. How much voice, how much new truth you will voice. How many new laws you will issue for your life. New rules in which this is forbidden. You are not acting like this with me or with others. I'm building a different world. I'm building a different paradigm. Thank you, Ecstasy. Wayne, hello. So, this is where every hypersensitive kid with a mother who was cooking them in the pressure cooker their entire childhood with volatility should do. Get that aggression. Get that need, because you may also think that my mom was hateful, my mom was aggressive, and it was gross. I will not be experiencing aggression or those emotions myself. Will suppress them because it's gross. That's why I'm calling you to embody them. Make them a resource. Make them your power. Turn them into a constructive, productive power, as opposed to regarding them as something universally bad. Use those experiences. Next time you see that someone is being hated, next time you see that someone is being bullied, next time you see that someone is being this weak, helpless creature and someone is experiencing this hate all out of their misery, punish the hell out of them in your voice, in your car, somewhere in your room alone. Say everything that comes to your mind. Let your voice speak. Let your voice say all of that. Allow it. And then in the end, say it all to yourself as well. And see where you might be not on your path through that practice. It's a wonderful work. It's a wonderful work to get this aggression and get it to yourself. Because you will be stimulated to feel this thing every time you are in a situation in which you're empathizing with someone being hated and hating the one passively hating, deeply hating, reflexively hating the one who's hating. You are reflexively hating every time it affects your energy. Every time you feel like you're being put through this burning feeling. It's hatred that's reflexive. Do you need that? Get it out. Your aggression is to create change in the world. Aggression is me pushing my boundaries outwards. It's not necessarily I am going to beat everyone. I'm going to be a bully. No. You can use the same energy and build something. You can use the same energy and put yourself where you belong. Absolutely. Finish, complete that act when you needed to defend yourself as a child. When you needed to put that aggression in its place. When you needed to reclaim your right to defend yourself. When you needed to reclaim that right to not have this infringement, this cruel, disgusting, painful infringement on your boundaries, okay? That will be the first big step in your healing. Oh, Dima Bilan facial aesthetics. I went to the store randomly and said hi to this lady. Every day we say hi, and finally one day I switched to just stopped quietly being nice to me, and that's just one example. Hate makes me hate. So hypersensitive. Generally, if love is acceptance of the world and hate is a lot of energy, is not accepting the world around. Trauma is often defined what is hated, often starting in themselves and then expressed on others. Common hypocrites. Now we shall move on. Well, Timothy or our Chad does that in the work truck every morning. Completed. Get a dog and stay away from people. That's right. Sarah, hello. Hi, welcome. The energy here is raw and real, always ecstasy. How old are you? I'm 120 years old. We're talking about women problems. No, we're talking about universal human problems. So now we are ready to move on with Luke's maxing, or are we still on the topic of hate? Or I didn't see the store thing you said. That happened to me too. The Bilan jawline structural workout routine for optimal Tinder results. Thomas, let's do this. I'm waiting for a response from Electric Aura. Up top, I've been thinking fairy is creative force, not hatred. Interesting. Depends how you approach it. When is the last time you were boom incinerated? I'll try to do this. I'll try to finish it. Do it. It's such a wonderful practice. It will not only free you, it will show you the persona that is possibly dormant because of all those experiences. It may also have ripple effect on you having far better sense of your boundaries and thus far more comfortable relationships with others when you are going to be clear with where your space is defined. As such, you will have prior commitment, and then with that prior commitment with your space, with your domain that you will now feel adequately without feeling suppressed, without feeling like anything can throw you off balance. With that, it will translate into healthy relationships with people. As in, you will be you will be able to find some more comfortable, more balanced state of being in presence of others. And you also will possibly validate the experience of people who do perform hate or who do perform some not pleasant acts in society. You will feel more neutral towards them because you will see it from the other side. When you play it yourself, you will feel this release. You will actually connect exactly with what they are achieving, what they're striving to achieve with that. And then you will have, perhaps it will even spin into gratitude towards them. And perhaps you also notice that your relationships with your mother will go to a better, healthier level. Wonderful practice. Best performed when you're triggered, when you encounter the situation which puts you in more agitated state. And then, if you have an opportunity to take that fire and boom, exploded, how good you will feel. 20 minutes, so many revelations, so many outcomes. Wonderful. Now we're moving on to, I need to plug in my phone, and we're moving on to Lux Maxing. Good luck, Electric Aura. Let me know how it goes. You can send me an email if you have some story that comes as a result of that. And we can see, we can discuss if it's something that will be too much for the chat, perhaps. Good face equals girls equals happy life. Multiple good face girls. Thomas, how old are you? It's not a secret. At least the range. Are you under a certain age? Are you over a certain age? What the range that you belong to? 19. Okay. There is nothing wrong with eating well. It's a wonderful idea to eat well, to eat a lot of nutritious foods, to sleep well, to do some healthy level of activity and fitness. It's totally wonderful. It's totally wonderful to work on your relationships with the world, finding, probing your place, trying to identify what you want to do in life, what type of character and charisma you have. It's always a good idea to pursue your authenticity. It's always a good idea to finding clothes and style that suit you, that represent you the best. It's a wonderful idea to find a hairstyle that is sustainable, that fits your hair type, that fits your lifestyle, and at the same time flatters your facial features. It's a very good idea to have good hygiene. It's wonderful to shower once or twice a day, wear clean clothes, ironed clothes, and have clean shoes. Have very good dental care. It's all very beautiful things that everyone, I think, who want to have a good and good social life, good personal life, everybody should strive for these attitudes, taking care of themselves. Also, avoiding certain bad habits, avoiding the stimulants, not taking supplements mindlessly. It's very good to educate yourself on the basis of really healthy lifestyle, sustainable lifestyle, as opposed to lifestyle which implies um, injecting stuff, taking supplements without knowing, without medical prescription for them. It's really wonderful to manage your stress. It's really wonderful to build life in which you feel harmonious, in which you feel flow, in which you can enjoy your life. It's very harmful to fixate on something one. It's really bad and harmful to turn something one as your identity. It's really harmful to develop in one direction. Electric aura, we'll get back to that after Lux Maxi. It's a really bad idea to sit and compare yourself with others. It's a really bad idea to look at yourself through the eyes of an imaginary authority that you've never faced, as opposed to connecting with yourself and living from within, understanding your desires, looking at who you like, looking at and connecting with what really inspires you, looking and connecting with something that gives you the spark and pleasure authentically. It's really harmful to put yourself inside of the box with a bunch of judges that you elected for yourself and that you allow to dictate your life without any tangible power over you. It's very harmful to sign some imaginary contract with imaginary society, with imaginary girls that you haven't met, that you don't know what they are, what they like, what they want, and live by the in the boundaries of that imaginary contract that you invented, you signed, and that does not exist, and that no one else knows about. So, with looks maxing, the problem is that it is a propagation of stress. It is looking at yourself from somebody else's eyes. It's losing your authenticity. It is not fueling yourself up with beauty of the world in its most expansive and intensive ways. It's not connecting with real humans, not connecting with real you, not feeling you, and only looking at this superficial thing, which is not fully superficial, but when it's regarded through some mask, when it's regarded through some standard, some Instagram standard that only looks good on the photographs with filters, this is a big problem that shall be worked on. And we need to dig into the reasons. The the equation that you wrote about good face equals girls equals good vibe has nothing to do with reality. There is, I know that in looks maxing communities, there are scales of what constitutes a good face. Yes, there are certain physical defects in the face that people may find weird, that people may find like as a barrier to entry to communication, just by nature of humans who are, I mean, we assess whether the person is okay or not okay. Sometimes certain deformities may appear to people as awkward, but guys who go into looks maxing rarely have apparent, no, scary deformities. Usually, MP5 students haven't seen you in a while. Hello back, welcome back. Usually they have normal faces, but they look at some scale through somebody else's eyes. They look at themselves, apply some scale that only applies to Instagram photographs that are taken at the most flattering angle. How to do hunter eyes with jaw? Let me do something. You do this posing on Instagram and you measure yourself through this posing on Instagram. Isn't it degrading to minimize yourself to a pose on Instagram photo? Isn't it too degrading to flatten your whole entire persona? And not just persona. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Scravis. Thank you, Ecstasy. To flatten your whole persona. And moreover, to flatten the possibility of sensing life with all of these majestic sensors that we have that allow us to experience life. You're flattening all that into what? Actually, how do you do looks match your face when you put hairs like this somehow? We need like hair like this, right? What's the looks maxing icons now? Are you mugging? Yeah, exactly. I am. Tony Herbert. Hello. Dang. Very accurate. Kiva, are you on topic as well? Have you seen that stuff? I read my laser lady and I said something is wrong. Her brain isn't okay. 2 weeks later, she had, oh. Ooh. But looks maxing is not posing. It's about whether it's worth or not to try and improve it. I told you, it's really worth to follow good hygiene. It's really worth finding good hairstyle for you. It's really worth approaching your like style, finding your style, having overall health, taking care of your health. Totally worth it because your experience in life will be majestic when you live, when you surround yourself with things that are beautiful to you, when you make yourself as comfortable and beautiful the way you perceive it, when you strive for authenticity at all times in everything you do. This is what will make your life experience majestic. When you try to inject, when you try to hit your jaw with the hammer, no, unlikely you will have some fulfillment from that. This is to me an imbalanced situation in which you went overboard and went in hyper focus. So you're asking me whether it's worth it or not to try and improve it. Worth it for what? Worth it meaning that it's too much effort. What are you going to be doing? And why are you going to be doing that? Thank you so much, Chad. You just mocked everyone in the chat. I was trying also to pull out my Adam's apple because sometimes it pops in certain poses, even though I'm a woman. I still can induce it, but it's kind of hard in the pose of looks maxing. Support. Hitting jaw with hammer hurts jaw. Yes, it does. Друзья is a garden of support. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, guys. Looks maxing is chewing balls to improve jawline, right? They do that as well, but then what will happen is that there will be hypertense masseters, and that will lead to teeth grinding, that will lead to chronic stress, because we have strong feedback between our facial muscles and our brain. So the amygdala will be hyperactivated from that. It has some consequences, and also wear and tear on the joint, jaw joint. Scravis, she's more than just good looks. She's so smart and basically a grandmaster. Boom. So you read Electric War. You read that something was wrong with the person. So, thank you, Scravis. Is double chin worth it? For what worth it? Double jaw surgery, no hammer. Hammer is a scam. Thomas, I want you to tell me what is it worth for? Like, why are you striving to pursue this? Is it what place, how much place does it take in your life? How much of a priority it is? Do you have a goal that you will achieve and will settle, or is it a chase that never satisfies you fully? That there is always a new milestone in your appearance that you need to fix? Do you think that you have body dysmorphophobia? Let's figure this out. Do you have a penis? No. Wonderful questions. To get woman, which woman? You know a woman, the woman that you want told you that she wants you. You met her, and she told you that, buddy, with this jaw, you absolutely suck. And please never come to me again until your jaw is of this shape. Which woman? Which woman? You literally created some Eve in your mind, some perfect lady that exists in your imagination that looks at you with the judging eyes. That's what you created in your mind. It's not love. You don't love her. She doesn't love you. But this to you is the idea of getting a partner who will be judging you for your looks. So that's where I would start digging the issue. Why your object of love is your judge. Why? In school, she said, in school, you want her. She said you are ugly and you want to improve your looks to be in love with her. Sounds like a wonderful love story to me. Так, back to electric aura. What's the difference between a physic, maybe psychic, versus hypersensitive? I don't know. We're dealing with definitions here. But humans do perceive things. Yes, human can perceive things if we're aware, if we're connecting with people. We can perceive dysfunction for sure. Especially if we see people on a daily, frequently. If we see people frequently, then we're going to notice that something's off. And we can see by their behavioral cues, we can connect and see that something is disturbing there. But I've never met a woman who loves someone regardless of looks. But by the way, I'm 20 already. No looks, yeah, we need compatibility. We need compatibility. So we will be finding people from our tribe, from some genetic pool that we can connect with. UFC fighter, what's your favorite food? Steak. And also I love seaweed and fish. I love so many foods, I don't know. But they do judge looks. They do judge looks. Do you need a person who will judge your specific looks? Why do you focus on people who judge looks? Why, out of all people, you're choosing people who judge looks? Why do you want to communicate with them? Why do you want to be with them? Why do you want to be chosen by them? You are not your own authority right now. You gave authority for your life, for your experiences, to someone else. You gave up leadership in your life in the hands of some imaginary person who judges you. How can you regain leadership for your life? How can you formulate what you want in life? Relationships are far more complex. If you're looking for a partner for life, yes, their appearance is one of the driving factors, but it's not that you need to bring yourself to some standard artificially. You will be compatible with someone, and moreover, I will tell you the story. There are guys who are wonderfully handsome on the photo. Wonderfully handsome on the photo. But should you be with them, spend some time with them in one space, you realize that they don't have charisma, they don't have vitality, they don't have energy. You realize that what to do with them. Sit and stare at them on the photograph. There are guys who have piquant appearance, maximum charisma. And you go with them. There's still something captivating about their appearance, of course. There is something attractive. Are they looks maxing icons? No. But they bring so much into communication. You feel the charge, you feel magnetism, you feel so much play, you feel so much enjoyment, vibrancy. Two different genres of guys. It's also so comical to be with the person who is staring at themselves in the mirror. It shows insecurity rather than strength. And then another thing, I'm talking to you as a woman, okay, from female perspective. And then another thing is that people who just chill out about their appearance, they carry the sense of ease, and they can develop in other areas of life, irrespective whether they are conforming to the looks maxing idols or standards or not, which standards also they're fluid, they change. People who chill out about their appearance, who come to terms with it, they do other things. And people who fixate on their appearance, they become insanely boring because they're sitting there training how to do hunter eyes. The most beautiful thing in life is a free person who does what they love in the process of doing what they love. This is probably the most beautiful state of a human. And this is when you unbound yourself from all of those concepts. Show middle finger to that. Find what you love and make it your path. Because looks maxing does not is not interested in making your potential shine. Is not interested in making you shine as a human. It's interested in making you spend your precious time and efforts into conforming to some artificial standards nobody gives a fuck about. In the real world, I did that when I had a zit on my face. Stuck in the mirror for half a day. And work on other things. Work on things that charge you with energy, that you love doing. Everyone is magnetized to a person who is a giver. Everyone is magnetized to the person who carries a lot of energy with them. Everyone is magnetized to the playful, vibrant, desiring energy. Everyone is magnetized to the doer. Not the one who wants to secure something. Whoa, I will secure some facial features. I'll hyper focus on that, and that will bring me everything in life. You don't even know what things you're priming yourself for. What you want in life what you want to experience in life by fixating on this, past these doors. People who are not fixating on this are working on being able to enjoy all that. And you are fixating on that. So even if this door, this chance opens to you, you will fall. There will be a cliff. It will not be an experience for you, crafted for you by you. So fixating on that is a redundant step that drains your energy, in my opinion, as a woman. And your beauty will come, your natural potential will come when you align with yourself, when you align with what you love and you start doing it, when you align with your health, with what your body is craving health-wise, when you align with your talents, with your sexuality, with your type of intellect, with your type of charisma, when you identify where you are suppressing yourself and stop suppressing yourself, this is when your natural beauty will come. Not through this. And training and trying to obsessively take pictures and for Instagram or some. I'll buy myself a pair of lips next week. Hippocrates. I look forward to seeing that. Slavic core is undefeated, guys. She's magnetic. Thank you. Thank you, Kiva. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Arm, for your kind words. Mewing, I do that. Charisma, by one of definitions, is knowing your way in absence of inner conflict. So that attracts people. Mom. Thank you, Kiva. Con Lord. What the F? Get accustomed. You should do ASMR. Thank you, Scravis, so much. Usually, Fruity Cutie reminds new people, and I just remember. Thank you so much, Kyo. Yeah, Fruity Cutie is off duty, apparently. I wonder when they will join. ASMR stream, please, Thomas. Which topic? Let me go grab some tea. Just incinerated the father and the husband. Thomas Rajelis. What? How are we on the same page? Also, guys, stress does so much. If you're stressing about this shit, you are going to flex your facial muscles, and that will distort your facial features. It will cause water retention, spasms, and water retention is a result of them. Shortening of the muscles, loss of elasticity, hypertone. Nobody needs that. It will all be communicating that you are hyper stressed. What tea? Green tea. Azerbaijan tea. I was about to ask him if he wanted me to put my butt in his mouth. Hippocrates. That's a typical media footprint, I think, of, you know. Thank you. We have such extremes here. Please report the number of teaspoons at next. I'm genuinely interested. Your Americans are under food company's pressure. Stress bad tea, good. Green tea, yes. So, I've been sitting like a ladybug, in ladybug shape. And that's, I used to have, back in the States, I used to have a roller for back. And after streams, I would sometimes just lay on the roller, like here. That was so good. And I just catch myself trying to fit in the frame. Let's try it. And it's not good for my posture. Looks maxing. Electric War, are you still here? Yeah, this doesn't eat sweets, doesn't drink soda. I noticed your back was uncomfortable there a few minutes ago. Yeah, I was. Did you see? I'm like looking at myself and I'm accommodating for no reason at all. I also try to speak closer to the mic now because I unplugged. My dog today does this instead of working. You see, he's off duty. Just sneeze. До. Встань. Ты барагозишь? А почему ты не на работе, Кусь? Почему ты не на работе? Почему ты колбасишься-то? Ну-ка иди на работу быстро. Иди сюда быстро на видео сниматься. Ну-ка, работник. Безобразие какое. Opinion on sugar? I don't know. I eat fruits personally, in moderation. But I don't eat grains and stuff like that. I don't eat starches because they don't work for me, for my body, for my build. So I mean, I'm not. You see, I am in spiritual connection with Dr. Bart K, who is a carnivore, who is against the consumption of all carbohydrates. But I personally, psychologically, I'm not ready to embark on such journey yet. I haven't been able to do that. To me, it's too much stress. So while I am in full spiritual alignment with Dr. Bart K, I at the same time practically unable to implement his teachings. Dr. Bart K is a fantastic guy on YouTube, and I love the way his videos are highly entertaining. So, and what unites us is that he subscribed to me when I was posting my vegan deficiency series, and what unites our approaches is that both him and I were looking into the mechanisms of how nutrients interact with the bodily systems and what reactions happen, as opposed to looking at some studies, some epidemiological studies on nutrition and such. So with sugar, minimize to maybe if you don't want to be in ketosis or if you are unable to do the no carbs diet properly, just minimize to just push you out of ketosis, I would say. That's what I adhere to pretty much. But with dairy, with milk, probably I exceed this by a lot. So I'm definitely not fat fueled. I'm sugar fueled. But I'm on high protein, high fat diet. Итак, Барагозник, тебя все ждут. The host is sleeping peacefully. He had his session, prepared his bed apparently, and fell asleep. The host is misbehaving today. Цветочки, спасибо, Килушка. Like a music for me. Are you carnivore, Batap, or sympathizing to carnivore? She mocked dogs. And the electric core probably left, right? Left, right? Left, right? Yes. Just as less sugar as possible, no grains, there are similarities. Yeah, that's my approach. Grains actually affect me so much stronger than fruit sugars and stuff. I can't do them. Grains and starches, for some reason, are really heavy. You feel that. I mean, I was raw vegan for so long, and that changed my perception of food a lot. I can't eat chicken, for example. Chicken grosses me out. After I quit veganism, I can't do chicken at all. None of it. Even the most premium, the best quality, the pasture raised chickens, none. Can't. And at the same time, I struggle to eat predominantly cooked foods, like overcooked foods, really hard as well. So I stayed loyal to raw foods as much as possible. Borscht allowed on keto? I don't know. Probably not because it has a lot of sugary vegetables. If no borscht, then do you know? Oh, I'm not gonna stir it up yet. Water, meat, salt, borscht. Kiushka, thank you so much. Thank you so much for цветочки. Speaks inedible. Ooh. Oh, so I wonder if it became my reflex. Flowers and yawning. Hippocrates, good night. Thank you. Kivushka, thank you so much for pretty shades of pink. How long were you on raw food? Just a number. I can't watch all your videos. 3.5 years. I get recurring. Okay. Chad, have you ever tried ditching all of the chemistry on your face? Just all of it. And seeing what happens. To me, my best skin revolution was on when I just stopped using all the products altogether. And even the best improvement was when I switched from raw vegan diet to animal based. Because before raw veganism, it was pretty bad on the cheeks. Deep, like inflammations. They were very gross and painful. And they were constant. The couple will appear, then they will heal, then they will scar, then the other ones will appear. So it was just some cycle. And then I went raw vegan, it became better, but never disappeared fully. And also skin oil quality became poor. And then I went to animal based, acne disappeared completely. And also I'm tracking at all times, I'm tracking omega 3, omega 6. No, veganism is anti-human cult. I am firmly against it. Kivishka, incinerated. David, hello. 99H. What's your average day like? Also, hello, I haven't been here in a minute. Brivino, I haven't seen you in a while. I don't even recall your handle. What's my average day like? I wake up, Then I have breakfast, quick breakfast. Then I go for a walk with my dog to the sea. We walk by the sea. Sometimes we go to the park through the trees and stuff. There's some delicious smelling trees. Then we go back home. Then I'm sewing. Then I can go hang out with people. I can go work on my projects. I can conduct consultations. I can conduct workshops. I can prepare lunch. I can go to the store to buy groceries. I can prepare some materials for my streams, for my courses. And then in the evening, I stream. Then I also travel around sometimes. So that's active part of my day. But then there are also some things that are more passive, perhaps. Something that's already very consistent, something that has some background routine. So I hear the fur baby. Is it about that time? Here, fur baby went to sleep. He missed work today. Be pretty, admit, do lecture on YouTube. Pew pew, incinerator, huh? Eat cheese, hang out, consult looks, Maxer on YouTube, eat meat, sleep, repeat. What's up from East? La much love. Where rules. Beautiful Kiva. That's a cool combo. Kivishka. Chad, I would really suggest that you track your fatty acid composition, fatty acid prevalence, and C vitamins and minerals as well. And also the main thing is that you understand your skin condition. You understand your body. It means good. Nice to be good, девочка, please. Wait. Community moderation. Don't need that today. So probably let's wrap up. We've discussed so much today. We talked about discipline today. And with discipline, oh, I need to go back and check out your MPG face. I missed it since I'm washing, cleaning my car. So let's do a review now. The original topic today was discipline without discipline. And I was mug face. Okay. I tried to communicate the idea, and I hope it was successful for the most part. I think it was. That the idea that we had about discipline comes from inappropriate state of our existence. When we try to embark on some ambitious goals from the automations and rules that are suitable for some habitual, energy draining, perhaps boring roles. Oh, Thomas said we will finish on that, Thomas. So, what we do in Tantra to achieve this state of discipline with no discipline, we broaden the repertoire of our skills and we connect what we want to be doing with the proper state that is connected to resources, that contains resources to having it achieved. Because oftentimes we're not really tired. We're not really tired. We're just not in the proper state that contains energy. We're not committed to the system where energy is found. When we just surrender to sitting and watching TV or scrolling phone, instead of doing something that would bring us long lasting satisfaction and better quality of life. Something that brings us closer to our authentic self, integrates some part that we're craving so much about ourselves. So, to face that, in Tantra, we suggest the numerous practices and meditations to access that. And we actually are going to practice that in one of the upcoming workshops that you can sign up for by sending me an email here with your YouTube handle. I'll show you in practice how it works. And at the same time, for this discipline without discipline, we also need to ensure that indeed there is surplus of energy, that we have a very good biochemical baseline via regulating our nervous system, regulating our body functions, bringing up this healthy glow, the potential in our life, such that the act of so-called discipline, the helpful action towards achieving some goals, are not perceived as acts of flagellance, flagellarism or flagellantry, whatever. We don't need that. We don't need this schooling system with an external judge with a whip that pushes us to do something that we don't know what and that we don't have capacity for, because we are in this compressed, oppressed, depressed, anxious, tormented state. That daily life, infused with disappointment perhaps, infused with fatigue, is putting us in. We need to access something else in order for us to joyfully embrace the new actions, such that they smoothly integrate into our daily life, as opposed to being this, sporadic, manic phase where someone pushed us to do something new. We did it twice, and then for the rest of the year, hating ourselves for having given up on something so cool and important. This is something we avoid. Tantra is about expansion, Tantra is about integration, Tantra is about finding resources that we don't notice but that exist within us. That exist, we just are not connected. We need to plug in. We need to plug in this, and light it up like a garland. That's the art of it. So, with discipline, then we talked about this wonderful topic of maxing and also the topic of hate, in which on hate and being an empath, I reminded the electric aura about the practice of accomplishing the act of self-defense that was missed there and then when the act of aggression was performed and fell upon you. You need to complete this act and connect with that energy of hate, connect with that aggression. Reclaim your ability to voice your needs, reclaim your ability to defend yourself and expand your influence further to as much as your potential demands it, as opposed to living suppressed and being constantly activated into the situation and the circumstance of remembering how you didn't defend yourself there and then by facing the acts of hatred in the real life around you through your empathetic antenna. On maxing, we discussed a lot of the facets of this issue. Maxing, when it becomes a pathology, what is normal, what is not, how it is, in a sense, electing the judge that judges you scrupulously, specifically on the matter of your looks in accordance to some predefined standard. Why? Why do you need that? Why do you need that? We talked about the importance of broad development of personality. We discussed also the importance of embodiment, importance of developing your sensitivity with the world, connection with the world, connectivity with your senses, connectivity with your authenticity, how you can experience life, how you can turn it into a masterpiece, how you can actually indulge in the experience of life as opposed to constantly standing with some elected authority staring at yourself as a piece of crap because your face doesn't match some Instagram photograph with some scale, with some appropriateness scale. No, why? Come to peace with your appearance. Take good care for yourself, of course. Come to peace with your appearance and move on. Move on to experiencing life. It's a harmful attachment to someone who is your judge. Thank you so much, Raven. Thank you so much, Kivushka. Thank you so much for bringing this beautiful diversity. You live in Ukraine? No. And also, have you ever had issues skin picking when your skin was less healthy? Yes. Were you able to curb it? Yes, by doing craft, by occupying my hands with craft work. Please do mug face at motivate. 1 second. Let me get in the roll. We need hairdo as well, right? Let me relax my eyebrows. Motivated. Wonderful. I almost forgot to do mewing when I was doing that. I could sit on the sofa and listen to talk for hours. A way of keeping me engaged. Wonderful, Brivino. Thank you. Woo! So much. Oh. Purple, purple, purple. Curd hair looks pretty good. We're doing looks maxing curd. That's why. Hi, David. What a great mind, and I enjoy your lectures. Thank you so much, Rakun Man. Nastya mugging, meat for life gang, no vegan allowed, borscht is okay sometimes. You got this. Yushka. Maybe not like that. Sheesh, hair taken? Let me buy you dinner, beautiful women. Uh, was it that arousing, Chunky? 9 out of 10 most rating. Chad. Johnny, I bet you smell really good. Right now, by the way, my hair smells really good because of the Pacifica hair products. They smell tropically. Hello, Kusan. Kusana. Jumotoko. Looks Maxer guy at work would say, bro, that's a strong lower third. She mugs my girl. Oh, Kiwa, what a beautiful sprite. Like, again, the combinations are wonderful sometimes because they make certain things shine. So cool. What is our topic today? Our topic today was discipline without discipline. But it all drove to ultimately needing to try something. And that's where I was inviting people who've been with me into the webinar, the workshop that will be a month from now or so, where we will be trying certain practices related to that. So watching the replay probably at this point if you're interested in the topic. And also we discussed looks maxing. That's why I was making faces. And also hated bullying. Thank you, Kiushka. So, my loves, my babies, my beauties, I'm going to sign off. It was wonderful to see you all today. More or less looks maxing stream, less spiritual slack stuff. Thomas, are we on the same page after we discussed this thing? Kiushka topic noted, workshop noted. Good night. Good night, Chad. And I am going to sign off and straight to sleep. Thank you so much, Avatapa. Enough, 2 times at most per session. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was nice stream. Lots of support from Druzia. Kiwa. Indeed. Wonderful. Good dreams, Chad. This is now Lux Maxing channel. Thomas, we can stream together. We can discuss that. Have a good rest of your night, Coach. Wonderful lesson as always. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Kiushka, bye bye. I'm signing off. Thank you, everyone.